What about the possibility of a play-around broadcast like between two space ferns with Wingman, or the Dread Pirate Roberts literal pirate radio? I wasn't thinking about this, but I think that's actually a really good idea, and it's probably pretty easy for us to sort of provide sort of channels, just like you can on internet radio. So we probably could have like our channels, just like you can in GTA. You can listen to different channels as you wander around, and then maybe we have some player channels that people can have their own streams on, and then you could tell people and you could tune into them. So that could be pretty cool. So I like that idea. So I will see what we can do about that. I'm not promising again that it's going to be in right away, but I think that's potentially a very, very cool idea.
Hello gamers, and welcome back to DaGaimez. You're in for a treat today. We talked about this before. Now check out this card before anything. If you've not checked out this particular video, I put a lot of time into it, and we're talking about the news, like birth of the news, like news agencies within Star Citizen. It was a concept, it was theorycraft. We talked about, the use of cameras, like items in the game as cameras to broadcast. It was a really good episode. We talked about the Mako. We also talked about different implications when it comes to, news agencies, and perhaps even, we didn't get dabble into it too much, but the business of being in the news or media within the game, and how far SIG was going to take it within Star Citizen. I want to kind of expand upon that in this video, because we had a really cool Easter egg type thing happen within the last Around the Verse that I didn't really get to talk about on the last video, and I wanted to kind of like expand upon a little bit. And we're talking about the Holo cams. This is really exciting for me to see something like this, because then it almost is confirmation saying, yes, we're going to put this into the game, but to what extent? If we push hard enough, do you think that we're going to have the ability to kind of see these broadcasts in different types of areas? And what is the extent to which players will have the ability to take their own content and push that through the game? Do we think that's going to be a big thing? Do we want that? And how far do we want to take it? Do we want to be inundated with everybody's content? I mean, we kind of are like an entertainment society anyway. You're here on YouTube watching this content. I would then say, well, why wouldn't you want to be in the game and have the ability to choose what content you want in the game? Sorry about that. I've been so busy lately. Apologies. Let me silence this media. We are talking about that. That's rather funny that happened, because what if it invades your privacy within the game and you're like, no, I just no more, I can't take anymore? So how far do we think that media will go within the game? Is it going to be a big deal? Is it going to be NPC only? These are questions that are more kind of based upon theorycraft. I didn't see tons of information posted upon this, other than Chris wants aspects of this into the game, but to what degree? And it's a good time to talk about it yet again, as we always look at design elements here on this channel. It's important to me because the voices need to be heard, and feedback will help SIG create the game that it is that we want. I personally think that like having these holo cams in the game will be great for reconnaissance, number one, on a military, because I'm kind of got that mind, that entrepreneurial military kind of mind, where like I want to know where people are at. Espionage, any type of spying, you want to like put a camera in a certain area, that would be kind of cool. But then you deal with like, invasions of privacy and all that stuff. You're gonna have to kind of, this is all brand new revolutionary ideas within gaming. So how far, to what extent are they going to take it? The other thing you can do with cameras is sporting events. We were talking about that in our gambling video. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about when I reference these videos, please check out the channel and our playlist, because there are a lot of different types of things that we get into when it comes to ideas. I like this. I like this type of talk, as well as keeping you up to date on Star Citizen itself. But I also like to talk about design elements. Cameras also would be interesting with media and creating like a news agency. So to what degree are we going to be involved with being able to make content in the game? I know that in the scope of the verse, as it were, as big as everything's going to be, it'd almost be like a favor for people to be creating this content for SIG. You know, like it's an addition to what SIG is making, and it's like we're doing the work for them. So why wouldn't they want that type of attention being put into the game by other people? You know, obviously people can abuse it, and so then you have to talk about how you're going to police it, but to what degree, how far are they going to get into it? These are all questions that really should get some answers, or at least get some attention, and not much being talked about it yet. I think it's going to be a type of element that will be an additional, kind of like an add-on. They might introduce it very lightly, kind of like a brisk, like here's your holo cam. You might have a personal one that you can use. It's not going to be a huge deal. Your broadcast range is maybe limited. You're not going to be able to kind of like, you know, they'll probably introduce it on a small scale and see how it does, and maybe expand it if there's any interest in it. And I know my mind kind of like is not like the general population's mind, because I think about the holocam and then I think about all the industrial uses, all the military uses, all the different types of uses that can go with the camera, where most people are just like, look, cool camera, you know. I'm gonna fly it around, look at things. You know, but I wouldn't say that like in general most people are thinking that way, because that's why you're watching this video, because you're like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same way. That's why I'm on your channel, dude. That's why I'm subscribed. So I really love this idea. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is like not necessarily exactly like the whole ball of wax, like, yes, it's going to be everything that I ever imagined it to be, but it's kind of like saying, you know, here's a little teaser. We're going to make you happy a little bit. To what extent, not quite sure yet, but definitely make sure you check out the Birth of the News video. And this also has implications when it comes to, like we were talking about, the first and third person debate that's been going on for a very long time. I brought it up. The video didn't do too well, only because it's been talked about to death, but I did want to put it on the channel because, you know, first and third person FPS is a big deal. Some people say third person FPS tactically should not be there, and third person FPS is cheating, and third person FPS is pointless and not immersive. And then you've got another sect of people that are used to playing third person, and they want that. Or you've got content creators that want to create cinematics that need to keep the third person. And currently first person is the only way you can play Star Marine now. They're listening to people that are kind of, you know, like, hey, first person. So this holocam and an item in a game which can do third person could also have really cool tactical implications and be an item without cheating. So like you see a camera drone flying around a corner to look around to see if there's a unit, all of a sudden you can shoot that item down and then you're stuck back into the first person view, but at least you have the chance to have the third person view, which makes it much more believable. It makes it a little bit more immersive, and I like the fact that that gives you an option, because having the options to play the game that you like to play, you know, the game that you're not going to be able to cater to everybody, but if you have the options there that kind of like expand the gameplay, then I think that's more productive, and I think that's better for the growth of the game. All in all, you're going to bring more people will gravitate to Star Citizen, because the more you kind of limit styles of gameplay, I think the more you're going to turn people off, and really that's not good. That's not good, because you don't want a game that doesn't have the maximum demographic as possible, because you really want as many people as possible. If you make this game as real can be, if you truly make this game as real can be, you're going to draw in a huge amount of people, and the game will be a success, because after the game is finalized, like we know that they're supporting the game through ship sales, and you know, once the game is in quote unquote finalized, you know, what's going to happen is they're still probably going to release ships that you can buy with money, but at that particular point in time, you'll be able to buy ships in game. So you probably won't have the same amount of sales when it comes to real life tangible dollars being used to buy these ships, because more people are going to buy them in game with the credits. So there has to be other sources of revenue that SIG's going to have to think about, and what that is going to be might even be another video that I'm actually just thinking right now. Maybe I should do like a downloadable content video, because I think that's something that needs to be talked about after the fact. But that's down the road. That's nothing that really needs to be talked about now. I'm just happy to see this Holo cam here, and I think it really brings about like some really cool immersive gameplay. What do you guys think? Tell me down below in the comments. And as always, guys, keep up the great support of this channel. Thank you. We're currently having a Star Citizen giveaway this month, and we're starting it out at $85. And if we get donations above that on the channel, it just goes all to you. So please consider becoming a patron on the channel here. Help us support this community, and let's get some really cool prizes here. Thanks, gamers, and as always, I will see you on the next vid.